Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Hemingway Jones live fountain pen show, where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling, and just about anything and everything that will keep you inspired. We go to a lot of really interesting places. I am in constant search of curious people to join us. So if you're curious about journaling, about writing, about books, culture, all sorts of things, then this is the channel and the podcast and the Tuesday night live stream for you. So I'm very happy to have you here. We also have a reoccurring cast of characters in the live chat. It joins us when we're live. That will be happy to greet you each week. It's a wonderful group of very positive, very generous people. So I see you out there. Hello to everyone, and a special hello to the members of the channel. So we do have membership here. You can join the channel if you like, if you want to help keep the lights on, get a little bit of extras. As a member, there are often check-in videos and blooper reels and outtakes. In fact, I am about to post a bunch of blooper reels. I found them. I sometimes forget that I've saved them, and I saved all the different outtakes and bloopers from the Around the World in 80 Days video, the Montblanc video, and it is kind of a fun collection of silly clips, and I'm about to put it up in a day or two. So I'm very, very excited about that. So if you're a member, you will see it, and if you'd like to become a member, you can see it as well. And of course, we do have the Pen Pal group for Cognoscenti and Illuminati members. So love to have you guys along. If you're listening each week, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. So I was out last week. I was sick, and I've had the flu, but I'm very much over it now. Just maybe a little lingering, but my voice is much better. My kind of energy level, especially, much, much better. I mean, it just wiped me out as if I were poisoned, as if there were kryptonite in my pockets. I mean, I had a really, really hard time with my energy level. But I am back, and I am super, super happy to be, and very excited to talk about 2 weeks worth of things. So we have a lot to cover tonight. I think it'll be a lot of fun, a very breezy episode, and a lot going on. So let me begin with a few things. Last week, we had 2 videos. One was covering for me since I was out on Tuesday, and that was a very bookish tour of my new desk, where I talk about the positives, the negatives, sort of the process of selecting a new desk, what I really love about it, what's been challenging, and how it's working out for me. And overall, it is very, very, very positive. And since then, I've filmed a bunch of other things over the weekend. And the desk is very much a character, which is a lot of fun. I think it just really suits the mood of the channel. And it's my study here, my library. It's just about finished. I think the last thing are curtains, which I kind of forgot about. But my wife was kind enough to order me some curtains. So it's going to be a bit more cozy in here than now. So that, I believe, is the last thing, although I may yet switch out the light switch plates, which are very bright white. They're sort of builder grade. I think I could do better. I'm not sure with what. I did see ones that have Blackthorn, the developed by William Morris. If you're familiar with this channel, you'll know that I am passionate about William Morris. I think he was an absolutely brilliant visionary and a fantastic craftsmen. So it would be a lot of fun to have those here. So very good stuff. So, Steve, my voice is still rough. Is my voice rough? I feel like it sounds okay. I'm talking to people in the comments. Hopefully I sound okay. Okay. The micro... Oh, my microphone. Let me take a look at the mic, guys. It wouldn't be Hemingway Jones if it wasn't for some kind of technical. That's about where it is normally, guys. I hope it sounds okay. So give me some feedback on that, if you would, and we'll keep going. So last week we did the bookish tour of the desk, which I am very, very pleased about. And then this week we also are doing a new video on Thursday, and that is one of my probably favorite videos I've ever done. I am so excited for you guys to see it. It is a video on journals and diaries of famous people. And by famous, I mean historic people. And one of them is one of the biggest influences on me and on the channel. One of them is just absolutely heartbreaking, and that is in there as well. It is a good mix of writers and historical people and philosophers and artists. So I think you will enjoy this one. It is one of my probably best videos I've ever done. If I can be a little immodest, I've said this before and it's true. I watched it back and I got very, very emotional. I feel like my videos really accomplish something if I feel something. And with this one, there's one part, it's so devastating to me. And I just let the words of the people speak for themselves with supporting visuals and music. And it's just heartbreaking. And I think really, really compelling. So I think you'll enjoy that. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. I see a bunch of them whizzing by. Karen McLean asks, will my guy be there? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Indiana Jones will not be in this video. No, no Indiana Jones. This is real people with real heartbreaking stories. This is not fictional. You'll see what I mean. I'm not even going to give you a hint. Maybe I'll give you. Should I give you a hint? I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. One person, because it's in the thumbnail. One person that will be in there. There you go. That's a hint for you. So absolutely amazing video. I think you guys will enjoy it. Or you'll hate it. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So tonight's topic we'll be speaking about is fountain pen drama. And it's many-sided. There's much to talk about. Some of it concerns Ben Walsh of Gravitas Pens. Some of it concerns Drew Brown of Drew C. Brown, very small way. And some of it concerns Montblanc. So that's where we're going with this tonight. Once we get to the main topic, which will be in a little while. So don't worry. I'm not going to string you along for too long. So I do have some things else I want to mention as well. And that is that last week was also you need to buy a fountain pen now. Maybe that was 2 weeks ago. I'm having trouble keeping my date straight because I've been off for 2 weeks, but it's important we speak about it. So I was super excited to put that together because I've been seeing a lot of negativity out there. Sometimes in the comments, very rarely in the comments, more so in some of my reading forums on Facebook and just Facebook. That's all I really see. And it's sort of the idea of like all modern pens are terrible and that vintage pens were the ultimate pinnacle of fountain pen design and production. And I actually do adore vintage pens. And in fact, there's a video coming up that focuses on vintage pens. But I just think it's erroneous to be so negative about it as if everything that's modern is garbage, because it's not. In many ways, that which is being produced right now is some of the finest fountain pens, inks, journals, just everything ever being offered. So I just wanted to do a kind of lighthearted but comprehensive tour of why I think that is. I think it was a very cohesive argument. I hope you enjoyed it. If you saw it, if you didn't see it, I'd invite you to watch it. And it was kind of funny because it did pretty well. You guys seemed to like it. You know, I'm always looking at the numbers. It's kind of a thing to me, sort of like figure out which videos do well and which ones don't. I've only found one thing that seems to be a determining factor in why a video does well. Only one thing I do. Title. If I come up with a good title, it seems it does well. Like 5 fountain pens better than the Montblanc 149. That did very well. That's a great title. You'll probably see more in a series like that soon. How about A Tale of Two Twisbys? Great title. That did well. So I guess I'll be working on my titles. There's some good titles coming up, but I don't want to give too much away, guys. I have to build hype. I don't want to give too much away. Yeah. So in doing that, that defense of modern fountain pens, which I am very proud of, and I feel like I expressed myself pretty intentionally. I feel I said what I wanted to say. I put a lot of jokes in there. And I hope you you must have caught them, but they're sort of jokes between my wife and me. And mostly because I didn't think anyone would watch that video. And it's kind of funny that it did reach a pretty wide audience. And not too many people commented on them necessarily, but I think at one point I'm talking about all the not fountain pens, all the ballpoint pens that end up in, what do you call those things? Dumps, right? Landfills, all the ballpoints that end up in landfills, and the number is around the world 1.6 billion fountain pens, ballpoint pens rather. And so I cut in with Dr. Evil, who I really love. Dr. Evil actually as a character, he cracks me up. And when I was talking about shimmer inks and sheening inks, I broke in with Shimmer and Shine, one of my favorite cartoons that my daughter watches, because I always think of that when I think of Shimmer and Sheen. I think of Shimmer and Shine. So there it went into that video. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I had a blast with it. And I do like to cut in with movie quotes on occasion. Oh, I think I cut in with Henry V too. That wasn't really a joke though, because I put the illusion that we who use fountain pens, in my conversations with some of the pen producers that make pens, not just fountain pens, but pens. And I've had the pleasure of speaking to people like the principal over at Retro 51. And he was saying that it's about 8 to 10% of his sales are fountain pens. So from that, you can kind of extrapolate that from any pen sales, it's about that percentage for fountain pens. So we who use fountain pens really are a special group. It really is we few, we happy few, we band of brothers and sisters who write with me this day, who use fountain pens. So I had to cut in with Henry V. And Branagh does an absolutely brilliant version of Henry V, which is great because he's kind of bombastic otherwise. So he was very good with Henry V. Henry V, as we call it in the business. But very proud of that video. Thanks, guys, for supporting it. Oh, yes. So what came out last week, this is something I think very worthy of speaking about, is my handwriting secrets exposed. And what was this about? I wanted to share with you, and I'll continue to do so. I sort of want to take the channel into another direction. Now, when I say that, I don't mean a different direction or to go outside of what we do. I just feel like it's something we do that I haven't been addressing. And that is different resources and study tips and different ways of approaching making your handwriting better or reading better or whatever. These sorts of things. And last week, I decided to share my, and not all of them, because there's a time limit. I do find that if I throw too much into a video, it's too much. It just starts to kind of drone on, and then I have to listen to my own voice, and you guys know how that is. Somewhere between 12 and 20 minutes is kind of the magic zone, I think, for these things, especially if they're very dense, like that one was, where it was like this resource, this resource, this resource. There are a lot more, and I'll probably share those in a future video. But I want you guys to have everything I have. Every tool I have, I want you to have. And we'll be covering a lot of books that are on these subjects that we speak about. We'll be covering a lot of different techniques, how to use a library, how to study, how to take good notes, that kind of stuff. So I think it's sort of a reservoir. It's within our wheelhouse, but we haven't gone there. And I think it's a great place for us to go. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And my first foray was the handwriting resources, the different online databases where you can find examples of excellent penmanship. I mean, do what you want with them. You know, it's not my intent to say this is how you should write, emulate it, and write like that. It's more like this is a tool. Here's another letter form that you can use if you like it, and work it into your style or rework it into how you would like to write it or what have you. I think it's inspiration. It's not mimicry. It would be kind of hard to write exactly like another person, although I do pretty good copies of other people's handwriting. I don't know why. Maybe because I used to draw so much when I was younger. Reiki and Shamanism has an interesting question. Do I write the script for my videos with a fountain pen or a computer? Well, I have to be honest with you, and I hate to disappoint you, but all my scripts are in my iPad. So I use the notes. I have show notes I'm looking at now to keep me on track, so I'm not off on 50 million tangents. And if you look on the side, there's all kinds of scripts that I've written for the channel here. And then up top here are all kinds of ideas for the show and for videos. I probably have, last time I looked, it was something like 300 different video ideas. That's why I can't ever quit. I have too much to do. But yes, so I do use this iPad Pro quite a bit. It's almost as close to me as writing. And speaking of writing, I want to talk a little bit about the pens I've been using lately. One is this marvelous, absolutely marvelous vac filler from Gravitas. Gravitas pens. So I'd say that Ben Walsh gave this to me, and he kind of did, but it would also be closer to the truth that I sort of took it when I saw him in DC, and he was very accommodating. I should have sent up the other camera. I didn't, but this has Konpeki in it. It is a brilliant vac fill. One of the things I really love is that the character of this resin that he uses, it's like optical grade. You can see through it with very little distortion. So the nib is just kind of right there. It's a lot of fun. It's also a very deep poster. So I don't feel bad posting this one. And it posts so deeply that it doesn't really throw off the balance very much. Now, I still mostly write unposted, but were I to write posted, this adds so little weight to the actual pen that you don't really notice one way or the other. And it's a bit front weighted because this one is reinforced in any stress point with titanium. So it's quite a robust pen. Now, I wanted to review this, and I'll talk a bit about that in a few minutes. That's part of the fountain pen drama. I think you should hear a little more about. So I'll talk a bit more about that. But I have some other pens I've been writing with as well. So the Gravitas is on my desk within hand's reach. And then I have two pens I've been bringing to work. First, the Lamy 2000, Gert A. Mueller's masterpiece. Or is it? Well, I have mixed feelings about it. But there's a lot to like here. It's certainly an interesting pen. It does have a fantastic lush nib. This one in medium. I also respect how it's made. I love the materials. They're so different. Actually, in a way, they're similar to the Gravitas, because the Gravitas uses sort of medical grade resin. This is Macrolon, which is also mostly used in medical products. So actually it'd be kind of fun to contrast those sometimes. Maybe I should. I hate the cap clasp. I hate it. And I hate the sound. Oh, I hate that. It's like Quint in Jaws when he runs his fingernails down the blackboard and everyone turns around and looks at him and Quint's there and he goes, "Well, you know me, you know what I do for a living." And he talks about going after sharks. So I have some problems with this pen, but I certainly respect it from a design point of view, and I've written a script I'm quite proud of. I haven't filmed it yet, but I've been carrying it around with me because I want to be very, very intimate with it. I truly believe you need to get to know a fountain pen. You need to spend time with it. A lot of time. You just... I see some people on social media. I'm also on Instagram at Hemingway_Jones. Hemingway Jones, all one name, is also me, but it's my photography. I kind of should have, I guess, posted over there, but Hemingway_ is for the channel. And there's one person in my feed that buys, I don't know, like I'd say every month they probably buy 6 or 7 pens each for more than 1,000. So they're probably dropping 10 grand a month on fountain pens. And hey, knock yourself out. If that makes you happy, go for it. But personally, I would just sort of feel like I'm fickle. Like I can't commit to a pen. I mean, in a way, I guess I'm a hypocrite. I did have 100 pens, 100 plus. I don't know how many owned right now. I did rehome a whole bunch. I'm trying to have more of a curated collection. I certainly wouldn't tell anyone ever not to buy something. that's certainly within their rights. Go for it. And if they just want to own them and they never want to buy them, that's fine too. But for me, I would never buy pens that I can't digest, that I can't incorporate into my collection, get to know, have a really close relationship with. I don't want little jewels in a box. I am not at all remotely interested in that. I don't want to own something just so people are like, oh, wow, Hemingway Jones has a killer pen collection. I would rather people said, it's amazing how few pens Hemingway Jones owns. But you got to say it for that fellow. He owns the right pens for him. That's the way I'm approaching it. So, the Lamy 2000, I know the narrative changes. It changes. So, I don't know if I'm going to dislike it as much as I did the last time I reviewed it. We'll see. But I definitely want to approach it from a design point of view. So I've been using it quite a bit. And the ink I have in here is J. Urban's Eclat de Saphir. Not very creative there. No, not very creative. And the last pen that I've been using lately, and I have to tell you, I have a new concept I'm working on. I think it's going to be a video very, very, very soon. And that video is, could there be one pen? Could there just be one pen? And I will have to say, there could be one pen. There is a pen coming up in a video that I'm not going to show you now that I could almost give up every one of my pens for. It does something so unique and so different in such a beautiful way, and it's so expressive and lush and surprising. And I don't even know what it is. It has no markings. It's a vintage pen. No markings. It could even be a Franken pen. I can't rule that out. I don't think so, though. But I can't. I can't rule it out. It has something very exceptional that doesn't usually survive as long as it has. So, there's also a few other pens in my collection. Egyptomania is one. Could I give up every pen and just have Egyptomania? Quite possibly. But there's certainly one that I easily could. And some of you know where this is going. Zeitlin Kuzan says the 823. No, it's actually not the 823. I love the Pilot Custom 823, Zeitlin. I love that pen. I think it's near perfect. But the problem with it is that which makes it great is its hindrance. It's so perfect and it writes like so fast. It's almost like driving a Ferrari in a housing development. I can never get it to do what this pen feels like it could do. I never really feel like I'm up to full capability because it's slightly racing ahead of where my hand is at any given time, especially with my numb hand. That's a little tough to steer a pen in any case. The 823 is just so quick, so smooth, but it also gives me a bit of feedback. I can feel the paper. I can feel a connection. I love all of that. But it's almost too perfect. I like quirks. And it doesn't have that. And Debbie, yes, you are right. Debbie is right. It's the Edson. The Watchman Edson. Gosh, this pen. And it's so funny. You may have heard the story before. I'll tell it to you in brief. This fountain pen was at the DC Fountain Pen Show. It was in front at Truffet. I saw it. I fell in love with it. I kept trying not to buy it. It's not a cheap pen, ladies and gentlemen. But I really, really wanted it. It has, I just wrote on myself. It has the absolutely most beautiful inlaid nib that I've ever seen. It's just gorgeous. I love it. I love that it's becoming mine now. I'm starting not to worry about it. I'm starting to use it and enjoy it. It's beautiful. It has an incredible feed that circulates the ink. It's supposed to be such that even if you're on a plane and it wants to surge some ink, it'll just recycle it. I haven't tested that, but I think I will the next time I fly. So I'm very, very inspired and excited to use this fountain pen every day. And I've been using it quite a bit, especially to journal. This has been my go-to journal pen lately. Also not overly creative with what I put in it. I wanted to put in Waterman Serenity Blue, but the sapphire of the barrel just, I put a Clayton sapphire in it. But it's brilliant, guys. I love this fountain pen. I've been having a blast. Absolutely gorgeous. And I do want to mention, if you've watched and you watch it regularly on Tuesdays, please consider subscribing or joining the membership if you want to help keep the lights on. I would appreciate it. But I really would appreciate if you'd subscribe and come on this journey with us. So thank you very much. Duke asks, what nib is on my Edson? Yes, it's a medium, but it's a rather fine one. And actually, Duke, there's sort of two angles of attack with the Edson. If you write a bit more up and down, it's quite fine. If you do a little bit more of a shallow stance, if you will, it's a bit wider. What's nice about that is I often sign things at work on really crummy paper, and I can do it more straight up and down, and it doesn't all feather out because it's quite thin that way. But it never skips. It never false starts. It never lets you down. It never runs around or hurts you. It's a fantastic fountain pen. Okay. This week, the video, journals of famous, interesting, artistic people with heartbreaking secrets. I'm so excited, but I'm scared. I'm so excited for you guys to see this. I put a lot into myself, so it makes me feel very vulnerable to let that one out. But I hope you like it as much as I do. I am very, very, very proud of it. So, it's good stuff. All right. What should we talk about? Should we get to the main topic? Fountain pen drama? Yes. Ugh. I love this thing. I eat this pen up, like this is my pen and I'm going to use this for the rest of my life. I am going to scratch it and ding it, and I'm going to toss it across the room maybe. I don't know why I would do that, but maybe I will. Who knows? But I love this pen. I love that it's mine. And I'm just really looking forward to passing through the years with it, taking it on adventures. It's just brilliant. I can't put it down. I just stopped talking about it and I took it out again. But that's how I am. I love it. It's awesome. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about fountain pen and drama, shall we? We like drama, right? So there's some stuff going on. Not in the comments this time. The comments have been great, guys. We've got fantastic feedback from people. People have been very supportive in the comments lately. I feel like people have been very inspired by the 5 fountain pens better than a Montblanc. I think it was somewhat freeing of them that you can enjoy a pen for different reasons, and there's certain reasons where it rates higher. So I think that was very inspiring, and I think it set a certain tone for the channel lately. And we've had a lot of new members come in through that video, so welcome to all of you. Debbie, don't toss that pen. Oh, I won't toss it. I was a figure of speech. I'm just saying that it's awesome. Robert Koch. Robert, I've been taking caps off of pens for years. I'm sure it's fine, my friend. Rest assured. We don't have to worry about that. You guys are way too, well, I don't know if you are specifically, but many people are way too reverential with your pens. I love them, but I use them. And I always will. And I've never had to send anything to a Nibmeister in my entire life. Okay, let's talk about some fun stuff. So I had a recent conversation with Ben Walsh. I don't know if you've ever had the privilege to speak to Ben Walsh, but he is a passionate guy. He is incredibly knowledgeable about manufacturing, materials, all sorts of things. He is, of course, the owner and designer of Gravitas. He is just full of energy, full of passion, and an interesting guy. So I, of course, like I said, I had 2 Gravitas pens. I have this vac filler, which was inspired by the Pilot Custom 823. Improved, if you listen to Ben, by the titanium to shore up where the 823 could fail, although my 823 has never failed, but I suppose it could. Titanium's not going to fail, that's for sure. Ben himself, too, his company has had some growing pains. There were issues with distribution and manufacturing time and customer service response time. We talk about all of that in this conversation that's coming up on the channel, I think in about a week or two. Now, what's interesting about it is that I like doing lists. I like talking about pens in context. I rarely enjoy reviewing pens. I think it's really boring for the most part, and I don't like to bore you guys. So I have to do more. So I did want to review this pen because it is quite good. And I also love that they're his nibs. They're made for him by a manufacturer specifically. So anytime a brand is using or ordering their own nibs to them spec, which it's sort of, it's saying in-house, but it's made for them spec by someone else. But that's really in-house, right? In a way, because no one else can. And he has some really interesting and innovative nib designs coming up. But to do a straightforward review, I just didn't think it did it justice. So what I decided to do instead was to talk to him about it, sort of review it in front of him and have a conversation about it, about some of the challenges he faced. And then we just sort of talked. And I left a lot of it in, probably more than I would have normally, but there was just so much insight in the different companies that he works with and sourcing of materials and design considerations and everything else. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. And it was so great to have him share so much of his passion and kind of controversial stuff with me. And that's coming up. So you will see that very soon. So that's kind of first thing of drama. Now here's a little bit. This isn't really so much drama as like a show note, but who knows what it'll be. So Drew Brown and I we're recording together this coming weekend. And similarly, we didn't want to just make it, you know, what's your favorite pen? What's your favorite journal? I mean, both of us kind of have done a lot of that ad nauseum. And I'm actually going to do far fewer interviews of anything because it's kind of too much with work and with a lot of what's going on with the channel. It takes a lot to prepare. So I want it, when I do it, to be very, very special. And I've been looking forward to speaking with Drew since I met him back in August at the DC Pen Show. And he and I I say we really hit it off. I like it. We talk all the time on Instagram. My insecurity makes me think that maybe he doesn't like me as much as I like him. It's still in high school for me. I want the cool kid to like me. But I'm very excited to have a conversation with him. I have some excellent questions. Some of it is in our ballywick, if you will, and some of the other stuff is more open-ended and fun and interesting and sort of along the lines of what I did with Oisin O'Malley when I interviewed him, which I was very proud of. Oisin O'Malley was a content creator. He used to make videos on watches that were gorgeous. He would travel around Italy and show various watches and put them in context with the Italian cities that he was in. And his cinematography and everything else was very, very beautiful and very symbolic. And I interviewed him and we talked about his creative process and a lot of things, and it was very interesting. And then shortly after, he just stopped making those kinds of videos, and now all he does are live shows. So it's kind of sad, and I kind of feel, though, that I captured a time with him that no longer is. So I am really looking forward to talking to Drew and asking some really kind of insightful, interesting questions and to see where it goes. So we're doing something for his channel and we're doing something for my channel. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Drew Brown like you've never seen him. Never seen him. And I see a lot of love for Drew, which warms my heart. There are few people as nice and kind and passionate and interesting as Drew Brown. So I definitely want to give recognition where it's earned. He is gold. So it's going to be a blast having him on my analyst couch. We'll see what happens. And then whatever he has in store for me, I don't know. We shall see. It will be a lot of fun. So I will probably have that soon. Once I record it, and if it needs editing, I doubt it'll need editing, but you never know. I will get it up on the channel fast. Maybe a Tuesday night if I need to do something else, or maybe on a Thursday. I don't know, but I will get it out to you very, very fast. So you'll see that sometime after Saturday. Okay? I think you'll like it. Okay. So let's talk about some more drama, real drama. We want real drama, right? So here's some drama for you. Hold on a second. Zaitlin Kozan says, is Drew allowed to talk about pens? Of course he is. Yeah, he can talk about anything he wants. I just don't know how much I will ask him the same questions he's already been asked on like 5 different shows. You know what I mean? Like, he's coming in on my show, so it needs to be unique. You know me. It has to be interesting. Sandra Harris, he seems like a great and genuine guy. I've met him in person, and he is everything he seems. I can tell you that. Debbie says, where is your Wes Anderson? That's a very good question, Debbie. Very good question indeed. So here's what's going on with the Wes Anderson. That's kind of the fountain pen drama. Maybe I should have attacked Montblanc again in the title of the video, but I didn't. I decided to make it more generic. So I've seen that some people are getting their Wes Anderson pens, and I don't know what order they decided to deliver them. I, of course, was one of the first to book it. I got the email when I was in Italy, and I called and paid for it within, I'd say, 45 minutes of getting that email. So I would think I was one of the first people. So it's all prepaid, whatever, right? So here's the problem. They've decided to roll it out in Europe first. So European clients are getting theirs before America. And the way they do it is they send it to the local boutique, and then the boutique sends it out or invites you in, okay? Which is a really strange way to do it. Considering that it's already paid for, they should just mail them all at once or in some kind of order and to whomever who has it, wherever you are around the world. FedEx is a thing. Use it. So I called my local boutique and spoke to a very delightful guy. Karen says, does Montblanc know who you are? I'm going to bring that up in a second. That's part of the drama, Karen. So I called my local boutique, and a very nice chap named Carlos answered. And I asked him, like, where's my Wes Anderson pen? Is there any kind? Very nice, by the way. He's very nice. I'm being very nice. I want to make that very clear. What I said was, is there any sort of an update on the delivery times? It looks like some people are getting them. And he said, yeah, some people in Europe have got theirs, but he's like, that's also to build buzz. So, it's not a full rollout. There's still some time. And I'm like, okay, well, is there any kind of delivery time for me that you can update me on? And he's like, well, who sold you yours? And I said it was Jessica. And he's like, oh, Jessica's out of Texas. Why did she call you? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember if I called her or she called me. But I actually bought mine out of Boston once I looked at the receipt. So he didn't have an updated delivery time or anything for me yet. And, a little bit frustrated, but I didn't want to say anything. And I didn't want to pull the Hemingway Jones card. And I kind of did, though, but I did it as politely as I could. I said, I'd really like to get my hands on it because I make YouTube videos. And if somebody else releases a video first, then I'm not even going to make a video. Because I found if you don't get your video out first, nobody cares. So if somebody in Europe makes one, I won't make one. I'll show you guys on a live or something. But I'm not going to put a lot of effort into making a video that doesn't, that nobody cares about. It hurts my feelings. So I was kind of hoping to get mine, soon so I could make a video and kind of at least get to market with everyone else or whatever, if you will. So I said, I make YouTube videos, so I'd really like to see if I could get it. Oh, that's great. He says, well, what's your YouTube channel name? And I was like, it's Hemingway Jones. And he's like, okay, I'm going to check all that out. And then he sent me some messages on WhatsApp, which was really nice. So I now have a friend at the Montblanc boutique, which I did not have. It's probably dangerous because it might get me to buy more in the future. I don't know. Tom Morley asks, so this is Montblanc delivering to influencers first. Some pen companies are famous for that. I don't know, Tom, maybe, but if they are delivering to influencers first, they're European influencers. They're not me. So, and if they do that, it's a shame because I would have made a brilliant video. I have ideas where I'm going to film. It's a very Wes Anderson setting and it would be very nice. So it'd be nice if I could get it, but I probably won't do it if I get it late. I did my Montblanc 100 year 149 video did incredibly well because I released it first. If I released it 2 days later, no one would have watched it. So I don't know. So I tried. Great Lakes Cruiser. You know it's going sideways. You have to name drop yourself. Sincerely. But I didn't. I was really I was more talking about how excited I was to review it. I didn't say like, I'm Hemingway Jones. Get it to me now. I would never do that. But I was a little disappointed that they didn't have an updated delivery date for me. I'm also kind of excited. From the way it looks like it's getting delivered with a little notebook and a few other things with it in a little case. That's kind of exciting. It's a really interesting looking pen. I'm curious how it works. For what I paid for it, Wes Anderson should show up here and hand it to me. The thing was $2,800 and change. It was by far the most expensive pen I've ever bought. And mostly because I'm so bloody curious about it. I just am dying to see what it's like and what it can do. And how kind of crazy it is. Because it is very, very odd looking. And I like that. It's a very curious thing. And I just really wanted to own it. And I knew that if I didn't, I would miss out. So we will see. Oh, Robert Koch says nice things. Thank you. That's very kind. Part of my problem too, Robert, is that it takes me a long time to make a video. And then I often, if I just put it in my queue, it doesn't air for 2 months. So sometimes I put myself out of contention. But something like that, I would probably do quicker and I would get it in rotation immediately. Which I did with Ben Walsh, by the way. That's coming up quick. And Drew Brown, too. I will put that up very, very, very quickly. So I am really excited. Yeah, Sandra Harris, right? Wes Anderson should hand it to me personally. He and I should become friends. He should be on the channel regularly. And he should help me edit my videos. That's what should happen for the amount of money I spent on that pen. But I really would have been left out had I not. I would have really felt like, why? How can I not own one? Curiosity gets me in trouble quite a bit. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my fountain pen drama, picking fights with Montblanc. Maybe they're mad at me because I'm so critical of them, which is funny because you guys know I'm actually a fanboy. But nevertheless, I do get critical sometimes. Let me see. Julio, I'll wait for the Quentin Tarantino pen. Do you know I'm not a fan? I think Quentin Tarantino is probably the most overrated director. I love Pulp Fiction. I think it's a masterpiece. I think pretty much everything after Jackie Brown is kind of garbage, to be honest. Some of it's fun to watch, but it's not. I mean, no offense. If you like them, enjoy them. But like to me, like I'll watch Inglourious Bastards. It's watchable. Kill Bill is fun, but these are not Oscar caliber films. I just think they're highly overrated. Just like Oppenheimer. Did you guys see Oppenheimer? It wasn't very good at all. It's like they had the wrong focus. Anybody care about straws? Was that the focus? Like that's the focus? This guy who tried to take Oppenheimer down? Who cares? And am I supposed to feel that Oppenheimer's this like genius that wasn't treated well? I mean, he created nuclear bombs. It's hard to feel sympathy. I didn't think that was a very good film. I was very disappointed. Maybe it's me. I could be wrong. Anyway, let me see. Tarotness says, upload the Drew video as soon as it's done. I probably will. I probably will do that. Yeah, I see a lot of love for Tarantino. I disagree, guys. I think it's just, a lot of it's bad. Hateful Eight was unwatchable. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is terrible. But Pulp Fiction, fantastic. Fantastic. It transcends the source material. Accidentally, I think. We should talk more about movies. Super fun. What about Interstellar? Let me tell you something about Interstellar. I cried my eyes out. And I only watched Interstellar about, I don't know, a month ago with Helen for the first time. But any kind of daddy-daughter film with science fiction and like anything that makes you think, that has that kind of beautiful cinematography. I love the Tsunami Planet. But him seeing his daughter when she's old and about to check out, oh my God, I cried my eyes out. If I think about it now, I'll lose it again. So I'll stop. I get so sentimental when I watch films or when I read. I just finished Dracula, and I read Dracula when I was a kid, but I read it again. I cried at the end of Dracula, and not because Dracula died, because of how noble all those guys were, and I don't want to spoil it for you, that were striving so hard to save Mina. Mina, who's this very strong female character, just fantastic, especially for the 19th century. And these guys are so pure and so honorable. Oh, and it just got me. At the end, it just really got me. It's funny, you get older, I think you get a little bit more sentimental. I just think you do. It's a really, really moving film. And I love the idea of how time is relative to speed and gravity. Because did you know time progresses differently on satellites than it does on Earth? So they have to adjust for that. So it's a real thing. Real thing. Chris B said something very nice. Thank you, Chris. Keep doing what you do. I will. Thank you. I have a blast. I do. I'm glad you guys like it. I see a lot of love for Interstellar. It's very good. Very, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've said it all for one night. My voice held up. Feeling much better. I hope you're all doing well too. Please subscribe if you've made it this far. Consider joining the channel and helping to keep the lights on. We have a new video this week on the journals of famous people that will, like Interstellar did to me, make you cry, quite possibly. And I think you'll enjoy that. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for being here. I will be back soon with another exciting edition of the Hemingway Jones Live Fountain Pen Show. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Everyone stay well, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you further up the road. Take care.